there was a situation where I didn't react. I have also the tendency, I don't want to hurt anybody. So I had this imperfect reaction to this person. And I blame myself for having this reaction. So I was not the person I wanted to be in that situation. So that other person was pulled away, or there was a conflict or something. And I couldn't let go of the situation because I was not perfect in that situation. So I could forgive the other person, but I couldn't forgive myself. So I wanted to draw back the situation to me so that I can make it good again, and then I can let go. So yeah,
no, that's a really good point. I mean, that's the alpha and omega of forgiveness. And the fallen beings are very good at projecting at us, you were the one who were at fault, you hurt me, because they don't take responsibility for themselves. So it has to be somebody else's fault. And as avatars, we often have this, and we're here to help things become better on Earth. So we can't bear if we actually contributed to making them worse. It's very hard. And yeah, it's again this, what helped me was to come to realize that, first of all, this, if I don't forgive myself even, I'm still tied to the other person. So I have to forgive the other person, and I have to give myself for that situation in order to be free. But I also realized that this whole idea that there are some things on Earth that are right and wrong in an ultimate sense, this whole thing that there's something that you can make such a mistake, you could never be free of it. It's just a lie of the fallen beings. The master has said it many times, the law of free will is that you can make any choice you want, but you cannot make a choice you can't overcome by making a more aware choice. And so when I realized that, I thought, well, then I'm really sort of holding myself to an impossible standard. But it was hard for me because I also had to look at this idea that I could make a mistake. And it wasn't that I couldn't admit it, or that I couldn't look at myself, but the idea that I could make this mistake that made things worse on Earth, that did the opposite of what I came for, that was hard for me. It was something I really didn't want to do. So I had to realize that this ties in with this whole idea that the standard, there's something that's right and wrong. And that's when I looked at that, it took me a while to unravel all of this, but I came to a point where I could say, I just got to forgive myself, whatever it was. And part of what helped me with this was that I actually came to see that I came to realize I'm not a bad person. I don't have a bad intent. I'm not deliberately trying to hurt anybody. But if I hurt somebody, it's because I have an unresolved psychology. I have these subconscious selves cause me to react. And I looked at this planet and how difficult it is, and I realized that none of us can embody here without creating these subconscious selves, because we're exposed to so much trauma and so much nonsense. And so I came to the point where I realized that right now I am at a certain level of consciousness, I have a certain state of psychology, I have a certain amount of unresolved selves, and what else can I do? I can only be who I am right now. So whatever I do, I'm doing based on the psychology I have right now. I can't do anything else. But I'm constantly working on myself, willing to look at myself, willing to overcome things. So that means I don't have to blame myself for not living up to some standard of perfection. I just have to be willing to look at myself and my reactions, and then come to a point where I can look at a situation that happened in the past and say, but I did what I did because this is who I was at the time. And now I can see I have looked at that, I have processed something in my psychology, so I'm not that person anymore. And so I just have to let go of the whole situation. It's not even just forgiving, it's just letting it all go, that it doesn't matter anymore. And I actually came to a point where, you know, I've always had this tendency, as we probably all do, to play through scenarios in your mind, you know. I came to a point where I was dealing with this accusatory energy, and this person would say, "You abandoned me, you left me, you hurt me." And I came to a point where I imagined in my mind that I would just look back and say, "Why are you telling me this?" "Because you hurt me." But I'm not the person who was there in that situation that took place a long time ago. I have changed so much that I'm not the same person anymore. So why are you talking to me? It has nothing to do with me. And so I think we need to come to that point. I mean, it's like, it's again this, what the masters took us through, going up and seeing this cosmic perspective of the I am presence, and then looking down at Earth and seeing how insignificant it is compared to this whole cosmos. And we have to come to feel that, because then we can let it go. It's just not so important anymore. And it's again this, I mean, when I think about fallen beings, you know, the essence of a fallen being is that they are out playing this drama in their minds, that they couldn't have been wrong for doing what they did. It was God who was wrong for giving people free will. So they have to prove God wrong. It's a drama they are out playing in their minds. And they want to pull everybody into this drama, because what is the essence of a fallen being is this complete focus on themselves. It's like they're the center of the whole universe. The universe revolves around them. And I realized that spiritual growth is about overcoming the focus on self, the outer self, to where you're not focused on that. The universe doesn't revolve around me. But that also means you can look at the drama and say, I don't want to play this anymore. I mean, this person you're talking about, he was out playing some kind of drama in his mind, and you got pulled into it. But you just have to look at it and leave. I say, it just doesn't matter anymore. The drama doesn't matter. I'm not playing that game.